What you doing, my friends? Welcome to yet another top 5 here on the Jovenshire channel. Now, before we get into the crazy lists that I make in my head and do videos for, I do want to take a moment to talk about our Lord and Savior, the subscribe button. If you haven't already and you do like this video, I guarantee that you will like the other videos that we do here on the channel. So please hit that subscribe button because I just don't want you to miss a thing. And if you are subscribed, hey, sign up for notifications because it's YouTube. Now back to business. Let's talk about some top 5 action. Now, speaking of action, this week we actually got some Batman and the TMNT DVD release. The DVD release, as they say in Espanol. Now, obviously, that's a great crossover. It got me thinking, what other comic book crossovers have there been that are just like so over the top? Because now there's a lot of crossovers, and there's a lot of weird crossovers. But I wanted to find some that really make you go like, oh, that's the thing? Okay. So this is a little bit top 5 and a little bit where to start, but all fun action. So if you like any of these fun stories that we're talking about, well, guess what? Maybe you should go out and read these comics. So let's start off with the top 5 weirdest comic book crossovers. It was kind of hard to put these in any specific order, so take the order with a grain of salt. Just know that they're all really awesome. Now, with that said, let's go to number 5. Now, number 5, we're actually starting with a twofer. Now, is that cheating? I don't care. It's my video, and I get to make all the rules here on the channel. But this twofer goes to Punisher. Now, Punisher has had some very interesting crossovers that have made you go like, oh, so that's the thing, huh? Interesting. Now, the first one that would really make you scratch your head, and also made everyone in the 90s scratch their head to the point where they thought it was a giant joke, but the Punisher actually wound up going to Riverdale to meet none other than Archie and all of his friends. Why is the Punisher going after Archie? Well, it's because there's this other guy that he's actually going after that looks exactly like Archie, but is not Archie. Oh, comic books, you're so silly. But it's interesting because it's not only the crossover with Punisher and Archie, but you see everyone else that's in the Archie universe, which, if you guys don't understand, there's a lot that came from them, including Sabrina the Teenage Witch. That's right. Even the Netflix show is actually a spinoff from the Riverdale show. I don't know if you knew that, but hey, there's a thing. But I did talk about 2 different Punisher crossovers that made you kind of scratch your head. One of which is, yes, Archie, and another one that almost makes a little more sense, but it's Eminem. No, and I'm not talking about those 5 colorful characters that I just want to eat because they're so tasty and full of chocolate. But no, I'm talking about the rapper Eminem. There's a story where Eminem is leaving a concert and Punisher starts shooting at him, but then we find out that, what's his name, Barracuda shows up, and then that's a whole thing. It's just an interesting one-off story, so if you want to read it, go for it, because it does end up with Eminem getting kidnapped with the Punisher, and Eminem breaking away to get a chainsaw, and then coming back to get some revenge. I think you can kind of assume what happens after that, but I'll let you piece it all together when you read it. Piece it all together because he had a chainsaw and he was like, okay. Who remembers the movie Freddy vs. Jason? It was a movie that arguably could have been better. And that was an interesting crossover movie. What if I told you that that movie was supposed to get a sequel, and the treatment for that movie, it obviously didn't go through, but it became a comic book. And who did they add? Ash Williams. That's right, Evil Dead Army of Darkness's Ash Williams is there fighting Freddy and Jason. Now, the story is kind of interesting. It does take place after the first movie, but in this case, you've got Freddy, who's like, consciousness is inside of Jason, and he's getting Jason to find the Necronomicon to be able to bring Freddy back. And in the process, you've got Ash, who's just at the Crystal Lakes S-Mart. That's right, Shop Smart. Shop S-Mart.
That's right, Shop Smart. Shop S-Mart.
Between Ash trying to survive these two, you also have Freddy and Jason fighting again, to the point where Freddy actually uses, this is kind of messed up, he uses a bunch of the old ghosts of Jason's victims to like fight him. That's a cool moment. Just when it comes to comic book mashups, it was the sequel that we never got. So if you love horror movies, and if you even thought that first movie was kinda okay in a cheesy, campy way, this is a comic to get into. That's a weird mashup, and I'm so glad that we got that crossover in comic book form. One of the best parts about a comic book crossover is it takes some elements from our childhood that we would have loved to see, and then actually puts it in a medium that we can actually have it. And I'm talking about how the Justice League recently too teamed up with the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Now if you are watching my Where to Start videos, you may already know that Power Rangers actually have a great comic book line. And there's another story arc that has them getting sucked into an alternate reality where, you know, the Justice League is there. It starts off with Zack fighting Batman, and then the Justice League coming in and all the other Power Rangers. It's just a crossover that as a kid, you would have paid all of your allowance money to see on TV. Now, it's not on TV, it isn't a comic book, but it's great. And it gets kind of cooler because you see some of the Rangers actually have to don some of the outfits of the other Leaguers to go ahead and fight Lord Zed, who's now teamed up with Brainiac. Actually, when you kind of think about it, that team up makes a lot of sense. I don't know, man. It's great, and it's a weird mashup. So you go crossovers in comic books using my old cartoons that I loved. I guess Power Rangers isn't really a cartoon. It was kind of a cartoon. Number 2 on our list of what? That was a crossover? Actually goes to the reason why we're even doing this video this week, but it's Batman and the TMNT. I would also like to note that this was so good that it was done twice. That's right, the first run takes place in Gotham City where they have the green goop. I'm forgetting the name, but TGI Fridays? No. TRF? No. My editor will put it on screen. Yeah, that thing. So that actually gets into the hands of people in Gotham City, and there's a panel that I think I've talked about on this channel before. It's just so amazing because they take the stuff down to Arkham Asylum, and you get to see like all of the Batman's bad guys who broke out become like the animal versions of themselves. It didn't really focus enough on all of that because I thought that was really cool. But like I said, this story was so good, I think it was 4 issues, that they did it again, but this time it takes place in the Ninja Turtles world where Bane actually goes there and takes over the Foot. That's right, and it's all because Donatello opened up this portal and allowed it to happen. So because Donatello is so guilty and feels bad about it, he actually takes the Venom drug that you know gives Bane his and then you know becomes kind of monstrous himself. But also you've got Batman that has to like go to this city. It's just, come on, you've got Batman and the Ninja Turtles. How could you have a crossover that is any better than that? Go watch the movie, go read the comics. It's great. I love it. Now, when it comes to number 1 on our list, I really wanted to go to a title that is just so out there, it kind of makes your brain hurt, but at the same time, once your brain kind of collapses in on itself to find the logic in it, it goes, oh no, this makes sense. So, I talked about it in a video a long time ago on how The Mask is actually the greatest comic book movie to date. Yes, that's right, The Mask starring Jim Carrey originated as a Dark Horse comic. Well, if you remember how that story goes, Jim Carrey has the mask and he puts on the mask and he turns into a cartoon character and he's crazy, but he's a hero. Also in the movie, the bad guy put on the mask and it just kind of like brings out the best or / worst qualities in the wearer. So we are talking about crossovers and weird mashups. So who had a crossover with the Mask? Well, none other than the Joker himself. That's right, we had Batman on the list, we had the Justice League on the list. I didn't mean to put that much DC in here, but they had some great crossovers. Anyways, the Joker actually puts on the masks, and the world kind of falls in love with him because he becomes like a celebrity on TV. It's just, could you imagine the Joker putting on the masks? You don't have to imagine it. You can literally read the comics. It was a thing that happened, and it was weird and totally awesome. These were just 5 different titles that we named here that I thought were some weird over-the-top crossovers. Other crazy ones include Star Trek and X-Men. Star Trek and Doctor Who also, but you had Spider-Man and Obama. What else? Muhammad Ali fought Superman, and then they had to team up together. There's a lot of crazy crossovers. So let me know in the comments below what your favorite comic book crossovers have been over the years, and maybe we'll do another top 5, or maybe I'll just comment back and be like, dope, that one was really cool. Thank you so much for watching. Again, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button because if you like this video, I guarantee you're gonna like the other videos we do here. And that's it from me. That's it. I'm done. I'm gonna go find some more crossovers to read. Okay. No, that's it. Yep. Okay. I'll see you later.